Hi, this is a video essay on effective directing techniques using the movie Parasite 2019, directed by Bong Joon-ho. Directing is crucial for shaping a film's narrative and emotional depth. Parasite serves as an excellent case study for exploring how effective directing can transform a film into a multi-layered work of art. This analysis will focus on Bong's use of visual storytelling, collaboration, and thematic exploration, particularly in shot composition, pacing, and the use of space. Visual storytelling is one of a director's most powerful tools, with mise-en-scene shaping mood and emotional impact. Rabiger and Huber-Scharia emphasizes that mise-en-scene shot, composition, and the dramatic meaning of an image are fundamentally linked to lenses and lighting. In Parasite, Bong uses lighting and spatial dynamics to emphasize the stark socioeconomic divide between the Kim and the Park families. For instance, the Kim family's semi-basement home contrasts sharply with the Park family's spacious mansion. The lighting in the Kim family's home is dim and cold, relying on street light and minimum natural light, which creates a sense of confinement and isolation. In contrast, the Park family's home is flooded with natural light, symbolizing luxury, openness, and privilege. This difference in lighting and space not only highlights the physical gap between the two families, but also symbolizes their emotional and psychological divide. As Parasite demonstrates, directing involves more than technical precision. It requires aligning the visual language with the film's deeper themes. Mackenzie states, in capitalist society, the director is shackled by the reactionary governmental policy of commercializing the cinema and by the capitalist's money, so that he is a mere worker who obeys the will of the film-making industrialists, whether he likes it or not. Bong Joon-ho's meticulous approach exemplifies how a director's creative vision can elevate a film beyond entertainment, transforming it into a critical commentary on class, power, and social structures. As Mackenzie argues, directors often operate under the constraints of commercial pressures, yet Bong's work demonstrates how cinematic art can resist these forces and deliver impactful social critiques. Beyond its visual storytelling, Parasite conveys its themes through its titles, which reflects the film's exploration of class dynamics. Bong Joon-ho has explained that the title carries a double meaning. At first glance, it seems to describe the Kim family who cleverly infiltrate the Park's household. Bong explains that the title initially reflects the poor family infiltrating and creeping into the rich house. However, the title also critiques the Park families as parasites. They rely on the Kims for everyday tasks like driving and cooking. Effectively, they leech off the family's labor, so both are parasites. While enjoying the benefits of their privilege, this mutual dependency reflects the cycle of class inequality within capitalistic societies where both families are trapped in systems of exploitation and hierarchy. In Korea, the word parasite carries negative connotations, making the title a bold and provocative choice. Yet it perfectly captures the film's central commentary on class inequality. By using its platform to provoke thought and critique societal norms, Bong exemplifies the director's role as a cultural commentator. As the avant-garde feature film notes that avant-garde films are existing to confront and transform the dominant culture by putting aesthetic practice at the service of social and political change. Bong's bold storytelling and incisive social critique reflects this revolutionary spirit as Parasite transcends entertainment to challenge audiences with uncomfortable truths about social hierarchy and human relationships. Mi Jong Kim argues that the representation of biopolitics in a capitalistic society through drama or film can be linked to the issue of representation ethics, and thus that viewers should not take the two works simply as entertainment, but should read them as texts that require in-depth reflection on the world in which we live. Parasite exemplifies this by visualizing the interdependence of the rich and poor within capitalistic systems. This dynamic is visualized through light and dark. Jo In-se, hidden in the Park's basement, manually operates light switches as gesture of servitude, illuminating Mr. Park's path. This underscores the idea that the lower class exists to support the upper class, while remaining invisible. The contrasting settings emphasize this dependency further as the Park's sunlit mansion represents privilege, while the Kim semi-basement symbolizes marginalization. Kiwi's dream of ascending to the social ladder reflects the illusion of social mobility, an aspiration ultimately unattainable in their reality. In Parasite, the relationship between music and narrative showcases Bong Joon-ho's meticulous direction, as well as the emotional depth added by composer Chong Jang-il. Bong's ability to blend genres often create unique demands for his music team. For example, Chong Jang-il faced significant challenges while composing the opening sequences for the piano piece. Bong described the desired tone as hopeful and very anxious at the same time, a seemingly contradictory request that led Jung to compose 4 versions, all of which Bong rejected. Jung quoted, "After he passed on the 4th, I felt very depressed. I drank myself into a stupor and just slept on my sofa. The next morning, I woke up with a terrible hangover and began improvising over a narrow middle section of my piano. I had basically lost all hope, but that was the version he accepted." This achieves not only the emotional commitment of composers, but also the hands-on involvement of directors like Bong in shaping a film's soundscape. Bong's rejection and eventual acceptance of Jung's hungover improvisation highlights how directors can push composers towards creative breakthroughs. This synergy between directors and composers demonstrates the complexity of film music as an art form. It is not merely an auditory accompaniment, but an extension of the narrative carefully crafted under the director's guidance to evoke nuanced emotions and enrich storytelling. The narrative of Parasite begins with a descent to ascent, both literal and metaphorical, as we are introduced to the Kim family in their cramped semi-basement home. This space reflects their marginalized societal status, while the Park family resides in a mansion on a hill, symbolizing detachment from the struggles of the lower class. The hidden basement in the Park household, excluded from its blueprint, symbolizes repressed societal truths. Kaufman observes that the basement that did not make the blueprint is a marvelous cinematic device, illustrating how the poor are the foundation of society. The chaotic climax where violence erupts from the basement during the garden party starkly portrays the consequences of repressing these truths. Adding to its symbolism, the basement itself was built to save the wealthy inhabitants from an otherwise certain death. This reference to annihilation heightens the film's unsettling atmosphere, emphasizing the precariousness of privilege built on buried inequalities. By blending artistry with social commentary, Bong redefines the director's role, proving how cinema can both entertain and provoke thought. Parasite is not just a story of 2 families. It is a universal reflection on power, privilege, and human vulnerability, solidifying Bong's reputation as a visionary of modern filmmaking.